All right, guys. So I'm going to go over the main trades that I do on Monday, and feel free to ask any questions as you have them. I'll share my screen here. First thing I'll do is the 0 DTE. For 0 DTE, it looks pretty obvious that we're in an uptrend today. I think we're up like 0.7% or so. Go to the 1 day. I usually go around 15 or 30-minute chart. And we gapped up in the morning. You can see we did drop a little bit. So ideally, I'm going to be able to find something that's where I sell a put credit spread around the 595 or so. That's SPY. Let me do SPX. Yeah, one thing annoying, I keep zooming. So you're going to see the same gap. So we're going to look around 59.70-ish or so, and let's see what the credit is. It is recovering in the last 15 minutes a little bit. It did drop a bit, but we're still obviously at an uptrend for the morning. So around 59.70 or so. Let's see what the credit is. My dogs might bark in the background, just don't mind them, I guess. Um, no. They see anything outside, they're gonna growl about it. 59. Hey, come over here. Come look at the camera. I don't know if you can see this little doodler. Hey, hey. All right, you give me kisses. Are you gonna kisses? All right, 59.60. That's too low. We gotta go a little closer to it. 50, no, I'm 56. Hold on. This doodler, you're not letting me focus. 59. Oh, I did it this thing. All right, 59.60 is 0.07 delta. I could go 59.55 even and see if I could get my 25 or 30 bucks or so. Right now it says 0.25, 0.35. So I go a little bit below here. So even if it gaps down, we're still might work. Although if it drops pretty quick, it wouldn't. I'll see if I can get 35 or 30 off of this. If not, 25. The 25 is not really worth it. See, we get the 30. I got the 30 at least. All right, so that'll be the trade. Let me post it on the Discord. I'm still learning a little bit on this MacBook thingy. So capture. You can see my insider info on how I actually alert this stuff. Take a snip. I'm gonna look for the PCS, copy paste. Ah, so I copy paste and then I edit it. And that's why sometimes I'm a little off on the editing because I forgot a number or something. 5998, and it was 5955. 55. Ah, see, sometimes I miss that zero or whatever. 5945. 0.25, stop 0.75. I'll do that shortly. I like to put in the trade first before I put the stop in. 14.9. If they were low, 14 point like 8.9. That's low. That's why I'm a little reluctant to do a 0 DTE right now on these.
Because of the VIX.
Yeah, the VIX is so low that any little move you could stop out on it. I mean, yeah, it's so tiny that roof. All right, positions tab. So on Tasty Trade, you can't do a stop market order. I don't know, Todd, if you ever done 0 DTE on Tasty before, or you kind of stay away from that?
I've done some on toss, but not tasty.
Yeah,
And when I do them, I put in conditional orders. One cancels the
that's
other.
good. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll do stop trigger a little below the 0.75. I'm gonna go 0.8 on the limit. It's usually good to have a decent gap between these two in case it shoots above it. But I'll do that, and then I'm also going to set an alert price. I forgot how to do that on the website. I do it on my phone. Do you happen to know how to set an alert price on Tasty Desktop?
Not on Tasty.
There's a way to do it. I'll do it later. It's all right. All right. So let me see what I wrote. We're gonna do a certain order that I'm doing these trades. Zero DT was first. Now I'll do the iron hood covered strangles. So iron, I already have 100 shares. The covered call and the cashier put or naked put really expired worthless, both of them. So I just have 100 shares right now. Earnings are, I think, tomorrow though,
Yep.
which means that there could be a decent amount of premium for it. And I'm gonna go to the OPEXs, not every week on these. Although in an earnings week, it might make sense to just do a weekly on it. I'm still gonna go to the OPEX. It's just so many trades that I do that it's hard to keep track of everything. So if I know everything goes at OPEX, it's not gonna make much of a difference. So just FYI, if I did a weekly here, I would go around with earnings coming up. I'd probably go 0.85 or zero point 0.9 on the naked put, a little bit lower than I normally might, just because it could drop down a lot. And then based on the premiums, 11 sounds pretty good. Get 50 bucks off it. And then you get about $60 capital gain. It's good for a week. So I'd probably go around the 8.5 or 9 and then the 11. But I'm going to go 25 days out. OPEX is the third Friday. If you're not sure, I just say OPEX. It sounds like I'm smarter than I am by using that term. They're like, what's OPEX? All right. So I can go even lower. I can get around 8 or even 7.5 with earnings, but I'd rather take the 40 if I get a little more. Start there. I'll take 40 though, but might as well get an extra dollar or two if I could. Hey Tom.
Hi, this is not Carol, is it?
Hey Tom.
There you go. Okay, so I'm not sure
There's other people in the background
why
there.
perhaps everyone else.
Mute for now. All right. I just sold the cash secured, sorry, naked put, got $41 on it. And also a covered call. There's a chance it runs up with the earnings, but I'm not going to get too greedy, like going too far out of the money. The 12.5 or 13 looks pretty good. By the way, what's crazy about this is look at the amount of buying power you need on the naked put. $229. So fully cash secure, you need $800. We're looking at what, a third or so? So it doesn't need much buying power. Double-edged sword though, because if it drops, you're gonna need more buying power. Just FYI on that. All right,
So
let me
I,
look around the
I've
13. Go ahead, Todd.
I've got 100 shares just like you do, but I
Yeah,
decided to wait until after earnings tomorrow
sure.
to place the cover side.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh,
Okay.
did you sell a put?
So no, I bought 100 to get in and then did the cover strangle. And both my options expired worthless this past
Yeah.
Friday. But with
So you,
earnings tomorrow, I'm just kind of sitting on the sidelines to wait to see what happens and then
sure.
you do it
Yeah,
again.
nothing wrong with that. The premiums might decay a bit with IV Crush after earnings, but just be aware. I mean, the premiums might still be okay. But yeah, it's definitely safer just waiting. Nothing wrong with that. I can go around the 13 or even 14. The 14 still gives me 60 bucks off it. This is decent off 1,000. With margin, it's like 500. So you're getting 10% or so in 25 days. And if it happens to go all the way from 10 to, past 14, that's a good capital gain. Sounds reasonable. Um, yeah, that sounds good to me. Again, it's based on what your goals and preferences are. I could even go even closer to the 10 and get even more premium, but 60 sounds fine with me. I'll try around 62 and then go down. 62 filled. I could have got 63 maybe. So I usually start higher and then, sometimes you get it. Sometimes you don't. You don't, just go down $1. It's no big deal. That was a slight mistake. It might have cost me $1 because it filled immediately.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. You put it in, it fills right away. It's like, wait a minute, I left money on the table.
Right. There's a chance. I mean, if I went $1 higher, it may not get it. It's hard to say. Like it could just wait around. But there's a decent chance it might have filled at the 60, what, 3. I'll put in the data in my spreadsheet later. I just want to make sure I'm entering all these. All right, next I think was Hood. Are you in Hood by any chance? Robin Hood?
I'm not.
Okay. Let me double check. I think it was, but like the next one I'm doing. Yeah, Hood covered. And then we'll research a few other possibilities. I won't necessarily do them. Hood again, going to the OPEX. It's up again. This thing does not stop. Look at it. Hood stock. I bought near the very bottom. I started this whole strategy on it. Was it $22 or something? It was like an amazing timing on it. We do like 3-month chart daily or so. Just looking at overall trend. Look at that. Whew. It's just shooting up. We've been on sell put for a while in Theta Pro. Yeah, I bought around 22 right here. Imagine if I didn't do cover strangles and I just held it. It went up to 22 to 39. That's nuts. Oops, oh well, but I'm still happy with the returns anyway. So yeah, we're still near the peak. So that's why I'm gonna probably go a little bit in the money on the covered call side. So I don't own shares right now. They got called away for the third time in a row. So I've been getting capital gains every time on this, which is good. Um, get the 100 shares first. That should fill right away. 38.15. All right, so here's some of the math that I think about for an in the money covered call. 38.15. If I go with 37, so if I sell the 37, I would lose, was it 38.15? 38.18. If it gets called away at 37, I would lose $118 in the actual stock, the capital loss there, but it's taking in around $222. So let's say I get 225 or so. If I do 2.25 minus the 1.18, I'm still making of 107 or so dollars off the trade. And all it needs to do is stay above the 37 strike. If it goes anywhere above 37, I make this. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And then I get some downside protection too. So it could drop $100. I'm still getting this 105, 107 or so dollars. Obviously, if it tumbles even more, then I would keep the stock, but I would get more premium if I sold an in the money compared to an out of the money. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong column. It's really 330. It was even more. I was looking at the put side. So I'll lose $118 on the capital loss, but I'll take around 330 on the 37. So 3.3 minus 1.07. Whoa, SPX already filled? Did it just tumble?
Yes.
Dope. Just happened there. Oh, there might have been economic news. Let me double check. Sorry, I should look at SPY here. Look at that. Just that stopped me out. With the VIX so low, it is really hard to trade it. All right. Where did I stop out at? Is it activity. 7.5. I filled at the 7.5. All right. So just be aware when the VIX is low, that could easily happen.
So Lance, where's your preference? I mean, where you don't really worry about the VIX on the zero DTE.
I mean, I'm always worried about it. It's just if I could get if VIX is around like 17 or higher, then it's usually okay. All right, back to the hood. Might go to the hood if I did 80 million contracts on that zero DTE and stopped out in 5 minutes, but I'm not going to the hood. All right. I could go even lower than the 37 possibly. I could go around 36 or 35 even. Let's just do the math before I look at it. I'm gonna lose at the 35. I bought at 18.18. So you do 18.18 minus 35. Or sorry, 38.18 minus 35. I'd lose $318 on the capital loss if I lose my shares at 35, but I'm taking in around 4.4 or so. So 4.4 minus 3.18. I'll still make $122, and all it has to do is stay above the 35 in the 25 days. 38 or so minus 35. I'm just looking at the percent. So it's 3/38. It could go down about 8% or so, and I still make $100 off it. To me, I think that sounds pretty good. It's likely overextended. I mean, likely, I have no idea. It just keeps moving like it doesn't want to stop. Like it's still near the peak. It's dropping a little after the gap up today. What economic news just popped up? Was there something right at 9? Does anyone know? There might be a few things that dropped. Could look at Forex Factory and see maybe. I don't see anything. That's odd. It just dropped a bit. Okay. That's all right. It didn't drop a ton. But just based on this chart, just looking at the daily on Hood in the last month or so, it has just skyrocketed up. And we're near the top of the Bollinger Band. We're not past it anymore, but it just touched it at the peak this morning, it looks like. I'll zoom in more and see it. So yeah, it pretty much touched the upper Bollinger. I'm not saying that it won't keep going up, but if I can make about $100 with 8% downside protection in 25 days, I think that's pretty decent to me. Obviously, if it keeps going up and I sold a call around here or so, it would be better because then I get the capital gains instead of capital losses. But I'm gonna be a little bit safer about it just because I already gained quite a bit on Hood anyway. 35 sounds fine. I'm gonna sell an in the money covered call. Not gonna make the same mistake again. I'm going to the top and then slowly going down here. Sell call. I'll probably get 4.5 or so. I filled at 4.55. See, I learned the first time I made $5 extra than I might have if I just tried to get filled right away. So that's good.
So Lance, I think I know the answer, but why not just go, you're 25 days out, why not just go to the $35 put and take in $140?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's probably what I'm about to do anyway. But I'm just doing it
Well,
as a covered strangle, so I get both sides. So
oh, gotcha.
I'll still make the $100 on the covered call.
Gotcha.
I might go even lower though for the what 32-ish or so maybe. So I think it might drop. 32 is only $900 in margin. You can make $60 if it doesn't go to 32. Just a simple math here on the margin. 60 over 915. 6%. It's good. For 25 days, based on the margin. Might even go even lower. 44. Or sorry, yeah, 31 strike is 800. 44 over 800. Still 5%. I'm gonna go 31. I think it's reasonable. Let's see if I get more than 44 off it. I'll probably get around 50, hopefully 50-ish. I'll take 45 if it happens. $2 instead of one. Usually I do $1 here, but just to speed it up a little bit. 46 filled. Okay. Let me screenshot that and post it. Any questions on what I just did there? Post. No, wrong paste. Let's do image and all right. I think now we can look at other possible covered strangle ideas. Anyone want me to look up any position that might covered strangle by any chance? ABR, David, zip tie, anything you want me to look at for now? Todd?
Not as far as the covered strangle.
Okay. I'm looking at reason. I don't want super high stock price things just because I want to be able to do these trades with a limited amount of capital. The goal's a little high with the 220s. That's why I did silver. One of the reasons why I did silver is kind of low. Silver is a very conservative one. I'm currently in it. It's a slow wheel here. All right. I'm currently in the money covered call, 27. And then I'm in a covered strangle at 30 and 26. But if you just look at it, if you want something relatively safe, so you could buy the 100 shares at half the margin. So 50% of the price is the buying the shares part. And then if you just look at the sold put, silver in general doesn't jump up and down a ton. So you might be okay selling pretty close to the at the money on it. But let's just look at, say, 26.5. It only needs $400 in margin for a 26. So 26 fully cash secured is $2,600. Margin's only $440. That's a big difference. So that's why, FYI, if you're okay with it, it might be okay just based on limited margin use and might get a decent profit. Again, I'm just showing one contract. If you have a bigger account, you can do more, but FYI on that. Look at my watch list. I forgot how, I know on my phone it's an easy way to do it. I'm not sure online if there's a quick way to scroll through it. All I do on my phone is I use my finger and it like gets to the next ones. Does anyone happen to know how to get to the watch list online on the website? I forgot.
If you open it up there on the right, your watch list should be there. It should be the same, all the way over to there's the little icons there on the right. One of
There.
those is your watch list.
Yeah, okay,
You
thanks.
click on the first one and just start running. You can just click on them one at a time and they should come up.
Oh, nice, thanks. I learned
Yep.
something new today. See? So even everyone can learn something new. Okay. So just smaller prices. Baba's been dropping too much. CVS. See, it's trading in a decent range here in the last few months. I'm not going to necessarily do it, but I just want to see what the premiums are. First, buying the shares is usually 50%. Yeah, 50% or so margin. Um, just a example here. I'm not going to do it. 56 or so, maybe 57 even. 57 needs $910 in margin. This Tasty Trade is definitely a double-edged sword with this stuff. You got to be careful because the margin buying power effect will go up a lot if it drops a lot. So that's why if you're doing a lot of these, you got to keep idle cash on the side. But it's still a decent return, 56 bucks off 900 if it doesn't go down. All right, so that's just a different example of it. Let's look at the Theta Pro ones. For Theta Pro, I think I wrote down, let me see the ones that I was looking at. They may or may not be the same because the market might have just dropped a bit. Um, TXN, and I'll show you a little bit of the Robinhood new brokerage part. Now, let me look at the Theta Pro first. So I'm gonna look at weeklies here. We'll go at around a 2 hour or 4 hour time frame on these. Gapped up, sell put. Last night I was thinking on the sell call though, and we just saw the sell put pop up. Ideally, I would see a few more candles of staying above the EMAs in the yellow line here, yellow and green. But let me just see what the premiums are. Sell put, so 196 or so is the low. We're gonna go even lower than that though. So here's the Robinhood thing. TXN. It's pretty robust. It looks so you can make it look a lot like Thinkorswim if you want. So here we have the strike prices, we have the bid ask. It looks just like the option chains. TXN 203 and the low is around 197 or so. So let's look at 195 or 192.5. So you just click on the bid just like Thinkorswim, click on the ask, and then it sets up a credit spread for you, just like Thinkorswim, Tasty Trade, all these. Their team would be good. I doubt I'll get it though. Me too. Track order status. I forgot where that is. It's somewhere in here. It didn't fill yet. Recent orders, I think. Yeah. So you could move these things around. So like make it bigger and whatnot. It's pretty neat. I didn't get filled yet. There's a way to. I don't know if I have to cancel. There's maybe a better way. I think I have to cancel and then redo it. The bid ask spreads are too wide. So I could try a little lower, like up to 10 bucks or so. When you're on Robinhood's website or phone app, it'll say medium likelihood or large likelihood to get filled. 10 may not fill. We'll see. Getting less than 10 on a 2-point Y doesn't make it actually did fill. Getting less than 10 on a 2.5 isn't really that good. But let me just share this one. Bro. Um, I was gonna make a thread on it. So I got filled at 195, 192.5. set an alert a little bit above the 195, like 196. It'll be at or below it. Oh, yeah, double mic. Thanks. Okay. TXN point one is okay. But again, I wouldn't go much lower than that. If you get $10 off a 2.5 width, still 4% in a week. Can't complain about that if it works, obviously. Any questions what I just did there? All right, let's look at a couple more. Tesla. Still on sell put. Starting to drop a little though. But it's still above the EMAs. And we're near the Bollingers. Not much of a fan of it because of the down day. It's a possible, but I'm not going to do that one. Apple. Still on sell put. It's not down today. This one's probably more likely to work. It is above Bollinger in a 2 hour. Might still be okay. 232. See the 222.5, maybe. No, it's not paying anything. 225. Still not enough. 227 might be a little too close. There's not a ton of volatility on it. But down here, let's see what the premium is. 14. I'll just do two though. 14's a good. It's a little bit riskier, the 227 to 232, but I think it's okay for 14 or so. We'll try it. Partially filled. Or did both go? I got both. Okay. Try Apple also if you're interested. Busy bee today in all these trades. All right. Is my life when I retired doing this and then taking a few hours to cook, like just cook really good stuff and just trade all day? That might be my retirement. Um,
There's a lot of people doing that.
I'm not even joking. Like that might be me. I'm 225. Yeah, 225. 220. Did I do it right? 227.5? No, 227.5 is the top. 227.5 group 225. Two contracts. 114. Yep. Get rid of the old ones. Maybe one more. Let's try one more. Let's just go through the watch list here. Meta, sell call, but we're above. It's a little conflicting. Visa just had sell puts. A little gap up there but it was sell put before it. It's a possibility. Let's look. More room. There we go. V 311. Bid ask is a little wide. 302. Let's just see what it is. It's not enough. 305 is pretty close. Let's see what the delta is. There might be a way to see it on Robinhood. I'm not sure. 305. 0.1 delta. Not horrible. Get $10. If I get 10, seems okay. But I'm not willing to go much lower. Let's see if it fills or not. Yeah, it did. Okay. The Visa 305, 302.5. Just two contracts on everything today. Three oh five, 302.5. Got to do the alert stuff. 306. Again on TXN. 0.1. All right. I think that's all my trades for now. Did a lot there. Could leave it open for any Q&A if you guys have any. What do I get? No, unsure. All right.
Lance, I saw
Sorry, go ahead.
you had a trade on SMCI.
Oh yeah. That was a really far out of the money, but
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I
I
was looking
also
at that
it's a
to
little
do
risk.
a leap and then sell calls against it, but they have earnings, I think, today, so I gotta just wait.
Yeah. Other earnings today?
Today or tomorrow, I think.
Maybe.
Tomorrow, I think.
It's not coming up for me. It's not on TradingView. You sure?
Yep, 11:26 after market close, Central Standard Time.
Okay. Yeah, I'd wait. It's very volatile, obviously. I think they got a new an accounting company that said that they're going to make their books more accurate or something like
Yep.
that. Now, ideally, if that stays that way, it's not going to turn into an Enron or anything. And if you're bullish on the tech sectors, maybe it'll be okay. What strikes or thoughts are you thinking, assuming that we stay where we are after earnings? Do you know yet?
Well, I was looking to go out and buy the January 26 call at about an 80 delta. And today that would put me at 29 bucks, 29 or 30.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna wait because I'm gonna do I want to get into a poor man's covered call either on that one or TSLL.
Yeah, I'm on that
You
already.
Yeah, you threw me for a loop on that one a little bit in the way that you did it, since you didn't go out very far on the purchase call.
I've went on 781 days.
Oh, I must have missed it then. I must
That's
have been
really
looking at it
far.
wrong. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's great because that's what I was looking at. That would be perfect.
I went out years. So I did a 781 day 10 call and it cost me 12.7.
And you timed that right.
Yeah, that was good timing. Tesla's down a little today, but
But you should be way up on that call already, right?
the bid's 14.5, so I would make at least $150 off the bid. The ask is 17, so it's a wide bid ask. I'm not looking to close this anytime soon because that spread is so big. Because it's so far out in time, not many people are buying that leap. I'm gonna try to use this as an income generator. So try to get a little bit of premium off weekly or OPEX every month, selling calls that are out of the money, just to lower the cost of the 12.7 for the leap. And then I have so much time on this thing. There's a good chance that I could get the 12.7 back via selling calls against it. And then it's essentially a free leap. So even if TSLL drops to zero, I won't be hurt by it. Does that make
So
sense?
if you were going to do that today, you'd be looking at what leap?
Let me share my screen. Alan, I'll get to yours shortly. All right, so TSLL 22. You could go 417 or 781. The 417 won't cost as much because there's less time. Either is okay. If you keep it over a year, by the way, and you close it, you have long-term capital gain, not short-term. So that could be good for taxes. Don't quote me on the tax stuff. Um, yeah, so I bought it at around point 0.8. So I don't remember. Around point 0.8 delta or so. Now it's at point 0.9 delta. If you want to go a little bit, like 15 maybe. The bid ask, you're gonna have to test it out a little bit. So what I would do is go to a few of these different strike prices and try to buy closer to the bid and see if it gets filled or not. And then if it doesn't, move up slowly. So between the difference between say 13, 14, or 15 is not really that dramatic, like where you get filled. So what I might do is try to buy it like at the bid and do this for 13, 14, and 15. Like put in orders for all of those at the bid and then slowly move one of them up. So obviously you don't want to pay much on the leap. And then when one of them gets filled, just cancel the others out. That's probably how I'll do it, just because there's such a wide bid-ask spread. Maybe you get a little lucky and one of them fills at close to the bid or maybe near the middle of the two. And then just try it out and see like which gets filled. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, because it's a bit wide here. That's why I gotta be careful. Um, then there's a few strategies for selling the calls against it. If you sell near at the money, you're gonna get a really good premium off it. If you sell at 22, put you're getting $95 or so in a week, which is really good. But if it moves up, you got to be careful. The main thing with poor man covered call is if the delta of your short gets higher than the delta of your long, you're going to start to lose money if it keeps going up because that's shorter dated when the gamma is a lot bigger, and that's going to move the delta even more. So you just got to be careful with that. And then you would have to roll up and out or just get out of the trade.
Yeah, you're on the put side though, the premiums that you're looking at. That's a
Oh
dollar
yeah,
thirty.
sorry, the calls. It's even more, 90. That's about the same. If I sold, say, at 22.5, it's very close to that, the money. You still get 90 or so dollars. So I'm gonna personally go a little bit further out of the money just because I want the sold delta to be lower. And because of that, I could still have a little bit of wiggle room if it goes up and not have to roll this. That's just my personal preference on it. But obviously, you get more if you sell closer to at the money. Poor man covers calls could get tricky. You got to watch them a little bit, especially if you're doing shorter dated. You don't have to worry about what I just said if you just bought 100 shares of it.
Well, there's a big difference between $1,200 and
Yeah. I don't know. Does it give you margin? I'm not sure if there's margin relief. There's no margin relief on Tasty for the leverage funds, by the way. So if there was margin relief, then it might make more sense to just covered strangle or buy the shares covered call against. But since there's no margin relief, that's one reason why I did the poor man covered call off it. When you're buying a leap, you're not getting any margin relief on the bought call, by the way. But yeah, like if this was a 50% margin reduction, then you're essentially paying almost the same amount to buy 100 shares versus buying a leap anyway. Sure, there's margin involved, so you got to be careful with that. But at that point, it probably makes more sense to just buy the shares and not have to worry about the delta differences. If you buy 100 shares, your delta is 100. If you buy a leap, the delta is not. And because of that, the sold could actually go up. All right. Alan, let me see your question. I think you wanted to look at PayPal, EMR.
Yes.
All right, let's see what it's at. Are
I'm
you
the Theta
currently in
Pro
any of those?
trader.
Are you currently in PayPal?
No,
Okay.
I've just been trading the stock.
Okay. You want to look shorter dated or longer dated?
Um, Longer dated.
We'll go to daily. Yeah, it's pretty bullish. We've been on sell put for a bit. Another good up day, 84. What things do you want me to consider for PayPal?
Um, I was just thinking, where's the stock possibly going to? Because it's been on a nice run for the last couple months.
Yeah,
If you
it's
look
a
at
little
the
tricky to
weekly
say.
chart,
I mean, it's looking pretty bullish. It's above both of the EMAs. We
and
still have a little bit more.
all the payment charts are like Square. There's another stock called FOUR. I don't
FOU.
think FOUR.
Is that that four thing?
Yes,
Oh no, that wasn't Five Below. I was thinking Five Below for some reason. My kids love it. All
yeah,
right,
it's not Five Below. It's a payment thing.
it's Four Below. All right, it's a payment thing like PayPal, similar.
Yeah,
I've never heard of the stock.
look at the
We're at the upper Bollinger Band, so it might
yeah.
have.
So yeah. So for the Bolger work bands, it's probably that a bit extended. But what about? Do you have a weekly chart? Still kind of
Yeah,
extended.
right near the top of the Bollinger,
Yeah.
but it's been moving up really good. I mean, it went from 70 to 111. It's been in a really good run lately.
Right. Then Square's been strong too. All these. I just noticed that all these payment stocks have been strong.
Yeah,
I wonder if there's anything coming up going into the holiday season or anything along those lines.
maybe. Firm. That's that payment plan one. That's doing. Yeah, you're right. Good find on that. A lot of these payment plan things are doing really well.
And
It's hard to
then
say. I give that example to my high school students on like, should you buy Toys R Us? Like, although they're bankrupt now, but I used to say, should you buy Toys R Us right before like the holiday season because they're gonna make all these new sales and then obviously their revenue goes up. But then I say, the market's already baking that in and they're pretty much expecting that to happen. So it's not necessarily a good idea. And now they're bankrupt anyway.
right, it kind of moves before the actual holiday season. That's probably why it's been moving already.
Right.
Uh,
If you just want to play the momentum on them, sure, you could get
Now another
these.
one that I thought would have been doing well coming up to the holidays would have been BBY, that's why, but it was taking until like the last 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I guess other earnings today,
Are there earnings today?
earnings tomorrow.
Or how's it
They're
look
gonna
on the daily?
see, they're gonna see what the sales were in their earnings report, and then if it happens to do really well, it might shoot up. But
Right, that could be an earnings play. How's it been doing on the daily?
I guess the earnings expectation is it's gonna have good earnings because of this jump up today. It's up,
Right.
it's
So
up 6%.
is it more relevant sell call or sell put? So sell call. So you're
It's hard to say.
expecting
Um,
the sell call, you're expecting the stock to go down.
right. With earnings though,
You
if
know,
you
earnings.
if you wanted to hold it for medium to long term, you might want to covered call it, thinking, and the covered call is more bullish. So if you think that it's still going to go up, you could
Right.
consider buying shares, selling a call above like 100 or so for the earnings play. And if it happens to go
Right.
up, you get good capital gain and premium.
And,
Um,
also, which is stock that I've been playing for years, EMR, it kind of does nothing, but with these AI, it seems to have popped over the last couple of weeks.
are they doing power grid stuff with AI?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm
It's
not
very
sure. I don't know
when
enough
I
about this
when
stuff.
I looked at it, chat GPT, it said it's similar to VRT.
Okay.
When I'm trade, but
Yeah,
it looks like an earning winner. I'm assuming that E means from earnings.
right. Yeah, it's looking like an earning win. I mean, it was a slight earning bump, but I guess they just said their forward outlook is looking even better, and they probably threw a lot of AI terms in the earnings report, and people got excited by it. That doesn't
So if you look
necessarily
at
mean
like
anything.
VRT,
Yeah, good run up. It's starting to consolidate a little bit.
now when you see that sell call, then you see a sell put come up to the next day, would you immediately close that sell put and buy a sell put and do a put?
No, not necessarily. Um,
Like how would you play that situation?
what I'm doing is if I sell that weekly, I'm just gonna leave it on unless it hits the alert price. If it doesn't hit the alert price, I'm gonna just wait. If it hits the alert price, then I'll either roll or get out of it, like I did with Google last week.
Right? But would you also do the sell put play since it put is a
Poss
newer play
Possibly. I mean,
and be both ways?
maybe. I did that before. Yeah, I've done that a few times last month. So
Now,
it's a
when you
maybe.
do
It really depends
you
on
do
what's
this
happening in the stock.
when you do the sell put when you do the alert, you don't actually put a hard stop market in. It's just an alert.
Yeah, I'm not doing any stops on these. It is definitely more like riskier by
Right?
doing
It's a
it
little
that
bit
way.
risky because I got hurt a little bit in Google because I wasn't around, so I
Yeah,
couldn't necessarily get into the trade.
right.
So,
It's
some
definitely
people lost like
riskier that way. If you want to be a little safer about it, do a 3x stop. So whatever premium you take in. And if you do it on Thinkorswim, do 3x stop at a market order. So then you just get
right.
out. That's a
Right.
safer way to go.
And also when you look at the markets for today, um, the QQQ seem a lot weaker than the than this
SPY.
than the spies. I guess that's because the video's pulling in today, and that's quite a large portion of it.
Yeah, I mean, it gapped up, it dropped, and now it's consolidating on the Qs. Let's see. It looks pretty similar in the end. Gap.
Because
Yeah,
because
I mean they're like almost identical if you look at the charts.
the QQQ is filling the gap a lot quicker than the spies are filling the
Yeah,
gap up today.
a little bit more. But it didn't actually fill the gaps on either of them yet. Because SPY was at 595 and now it's 598. QQQ was at um 5 around 505 and it's 507. It's not dramatically different.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to be riskier on my 0 DTE, you could have just set the alert price a little bit above where you got your sold put at, and it might
That's a
still,
good idea to set the alert price a little bit higher, and
yeah,
then it gives you time to be aware of it.
yeah. Set the alert price a little higher than your sold, and then wait it out. All right, one
Right.
second. I got a neighbor. 1 second. All right, I got about 5 more minutes with me here. Any other quick things you want me to look at or questions?
Is there a way to really scalp the Theta Pro indicator? 'Cause, like in the
Probably.
mornings between
I
like
don't have
9
time for that, but some other members might. I mean,
I'm a scalper for like an hour in the morning, but I've just been using the VWAP basically and EH plus or minus the VWAP.
usually do SPY or QQQ for scalping.
No, this morning I did Palantir, I did Costco.
Also different
Uh,
stocks. Okay.
yeah,
That's fine. I'll just show you what I would possibly look at with SPY. Again, I don't have time for all this, but do you usually do 3 5 minute charts?
excuse me.
For scalping, you usually go pretty short, like 3 or 5 minute charts.
I'm using a 1 minute, um, a
I can't,
15 minute, 30 minute, and a 60 minute.
yeah. So if you see the same trend in all those time frames that's showing, say, bullish, then buy. If it's showing bearish, say, sell or short. And then if you're seeing conflicting numbers, like let's say the 1 minute's looking bullish, but the 15's looking bearish or something like that, then you might not want to do it. But yeah, you can look
Right.
at many different time frames to see is the trend being the same in all these or
That's
not.
that's kind of what I do. I see the shorter time frames kind of trying to show a change
Yeah,
in direction, and then I wait for maybe a 3 or 5 minute. Like I'm in a trade like 3 minutes.
yeah.
Then I'm out of it.
So for instance, SPY in the 15 minute, it's starting to consolidate around 598. But if you go shorter time frames, let's say like 3 minute, still consolidating around there. So it's hard to do a scalp on it right now, just
Like if
based
you
on,
like if you look at if you look at Nvidia, it might be a good scalp for a short term reversal. Like I'm buying stock. I'm not doing any options or anything.
okay. Um, 3 minute,
Looking at the 30
137.
minute chart. Let me change it to a 1 minute chart. Again, so now it kind of looks like it's flagging a little bit on the 1 minute chart. It actually might reverse back down.
Might. Use VWAP with it.
Yes.
So by the way, there's an anchored VWAP, the Clay Puzzle one, and you can put it at the recent high and recent low. A really good book about this from Brian Shannon.
Brian Shannon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Anchored
he's really good.
VWAP. You should read it. It's a good book, especially if you use it.
Um, yeah, I basically just trade with TradeStation and Thinkorswim.
Yeah, yeah, I would probably read this book by Brian Shannon.
And then when it gets later in the day, I switch from looking at a 1 minute chart to like a 5 minute chart or like a 15 minute chart for the VWAP because
Right,
it gives you a more stable range of the VWAP.
right. It's good points. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You can look at the VWAP and see are we above or below it. So if the VWAP
Right,
is, if the stock's above the VWAP, it's probably bullish and it might keep staying up. You could wait until it touches the VWAP and then
right,
you see a candle above it right after, then buy because it might just keep bouncing up above it. If it
right.
crosses the VWAP and then keeps going down though, then
I wait till it hits the standard deviation.
yeah, it's a good way to go.
And then I try to write it back up. The VWAP, I usually get out a little bit earlier.
Right. Definitely read that
Vice
Brian
versa.
Shannon book. You'll get a lot out of it because he talks a lot about what you're saying.
And then sometimes what I do is if it's like a downtrend or uptrend, instead of just using, I know this is available in which I really like about TradingView is you can have multiple standard deviations plus or minus the VWAP.
Yeah,
You can't necessarily do that in these other trading platforms. So I just change it from a positive or a negative to like -1 and -2, or negative like 1.5 and -2.
yeah, good way to go.
Trade it off that.
Yep. It's definitely like riskier with possibly higher returns. If you have time to do that stuff, sure, why not? I just don't personally have time to do all that. But Maybe one day, or maybe in the summer, I'll try a few little things like you're doing. We'll see.
It- it's
All
I
right.
enjoy it. It keeps me busy, and I don't have a lot of patience.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. All right, guys, I gotta get going. It's been an hour. My kids are starting to bug me. They want to go
Thank you so
bounce in the
much.
bounce house.
Happy holidays to you and your family.
All right, thank you, everyone. Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. I'll still be doing my normal trades, and then I'm
Oh,
off on
I
Thanksgiving.
do have one
I can't hear you.
options expire on Wednesday this week.
I can't hear you. I think your mic
Oh, I
cut off.
said, do options expire Wednesday or Friday of this week,
I think
being
is the
holiday?
market open Friday? I think it is.
I think it's open a half a day.
Oh, it would expire Friday then.
Probably Friday.
Yeah, around 12 o'clock or so.
I keep on talking into the wrong screen because I have a big
Ah,
screen on my laptop, but my speakers on my laptop. I'm always looking at my um, desktop monitor.
I'm doing all this on my laptop and I have no other monitors. But it's okay. My wife says I need to get another eye check though, because I'm looking at screens all day. So get your eyes examined, especially if you're near a monitor for a while, and use
Oh,
those
believe
blue
believe
light.
me, I do.
All right, good. All right, guys, I gotta get going. Everyone have a good,
Thank
happy
you.
holidays. Any quick questions, let me know on Discord. All
Okay,
right.
enjoy your family.
All right, thank you. Enjoy everybody. Have a good one.
It could be good. Bye bye.